What if I told you the average family is throwing away thousands of dollars every single year? Not because they're careless, but because they're buying the wrong way at the wrong time in the wrong quantities. Now picture the next time shelves go empty. Maybe it's a storm, a supply chain hiccup, or just another round of price spikes at the grocery store. Everyone else is standing in a panicked crowd, fighting over the last pack of toilet paper. You're at home, calm, because your pantry already looks like a small grocery store. That's not luck. That's a system. And in this video, we're breaking down exactly how it works, the 17 essential items smart preppers buy in bulk, the storage methods that keep those supplies fresh for years, sometimes even decades, and the financial mindset shift that turns prepping from a fear-based hobby into an actual wealth-building strategy. Stick around until the end because we're going to show you the compound savings effect, how a handful of smart bulk purchases today can quietly save a family thousands of dollars a year, and we'll cover the storage mistakes that ruin perfectly good supplies before they're ever used. Welcome to Food Decider. If you're into practical, no-nonsense content about preparedness, saving money, and building real resilience for your household, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is exactly what we do here. Let's get into it. Let's start with the list. 17 items. Not random items, items chosen because they're versatile, they last, and they save serious money when bought right. First up, heavy-duty contractor trash bags. These aren't your average kitchen trash bags. We're talking thick 55-gallon, tear-resistant bags that can double as ponchos, emergency window repairs, water collection tools, sleeping bag liners, and about a dozen other uses you haven't even thought of yet. They're cheap, they store flat, and one box can solve problems you didn't know you'd have. Second, batteries. Buy them by the case, AA, AAA, 9-volt, coin cells, all of it. Buying in bulk saves real money over time, and it means you're never caught with a dead flashlight when the power goes out. Store them somewhere cool and dry, never inside the devices themselves, and if you can, invest in lithium batteries. They last longer on the shelf and perform far better in extreme heat or cold. Third, washcloths. Forget paper towels. A bulk pack of basic washcloths is reusable forever, takes up almost no space, and works for cleaning, first aid, hygiene, water filtration, even as fire starters in a pinch. When paper products vanish from shelves, you won't even notice. Fourth and fifth, pasta and white rice. These are the classic long-term staples, but the trick is in the storage. Transfer them into airtight containers, toss in a few bay leaves to keep pests away, and for true long-term storage, use mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Buy during sales and you can save up to 70%, and properly stored rice can last for decades. We're talking food that could feed your grandchildren. Sixth, dried beans. Pound for pound, beans are one of the cheapest, most space-efficient proteins you can stockpile. A 25-pound bag can last for years if stored right, and if you rotate through a few different varieties, you won't get sick of eating the same thing over and over. Stored in mylar bags or food-grade buckets, beans can last up to 30 years. Seventh, coffee beans. This one surprises people, but whole, vacuum-sealed coffee beans last far longer than pre-ground coffee. And in a real crisis, coffee becomes one of the most valuable barter items you can own. Pick up a manual grinder so you can still enjoy a fresh cup even without electricity. Never underestimate how much people will trade for their morning caffeine. Eighth, wheat berries. This is the whole wheat kernel before it's milled into flour, and it can store for decades. You can grind it into flour, cook it like rice, or even sprout it for fresh greens. It's more nutritious and far longer lasting than store-bought flour. A manual or electric grain mill is a smart investment if you're serious about self-sufficiency. Ninth, bulk meat. Buying a quarter, half, or whole animal directly from a rancher gets you premium meat at a fraction of grocery store prices. Store it properly in a deep freezer, vacuum seal it, and you're looking at years of shelf life. When meat prices spike or shortages hit, you'll be eating better than most people for a fraction of the cost. 10th, cleaning supplies, bleach, dish soap, laundry detergent. Buying these in bulk saves money and keeps you from ever running dry. Commercial-grade powders last essentially forever and cost far less per use than the fancy consumer brands. And if you buy concentrated formulas, you can dilute them for even more savings. 11th, toilet paper. This is the classic crisis commodity. Remember how fast it vanished off shelves in past shortages? Bulk commercial rolls last longer and cost less per sheet than small grocery packs. Keep a 6-month supply and you'll never be part of that panic buying crowd again. 12th. Canned goods, specifically restaurant-sized number 10 cans. These giant cans offer way better value than regular grocery cans, and they're easier to organize and track. Stock vegetables, fruits, sauces, and proteins from restaurant supply stores or bulk retailers. They last just as long as the small cans, you're just buying smarter. 13th. Oats, whether whole rolled or steel cut. They're cheap, nutritious, and incredibly versatile breakfast, flour substitute, meat extender, even skin care in a pinch. Properly stored oats can last up to 30 years, and they were a staple food during the Great Depression for good reason. 14th. Vitamins and supplements. This one gets overlooked constantly, but nutritional deficiencies can seriously damage your health during a long-term crisis. A bulk supply of multivitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc is cheap insurance against things like scurvy and anemia. Warehouse-sized bottles are affordable, and they typically stay effective well past their printed expiration dates. 15th. Cooking oil, but choose carefully. Oil is essential for cooking calories and can even fuel an emergency lamp. Coconut oil is the gold standard for long-term storage. It can last up to 5 years and even has antimicrobial properties. Olive oil works too, as long as it's kept in dark containers in a cool spot. Skip vegetable and canola oils. They go rancid fast. 16th. Salt. Salt never expires. It's essential for preserving food, balancing electrolytes, and even cleaning wounds. Bulk table salt and canning salt are dirt cheap and barely take up any space. Historically, salt has been valued like gold, and in a real crisis it could function as currency again. 17th and final item. Vinegar. White vinegar, apple cider vinegar, cleaning vinegar. Buy them in bulk and you've got a preservative, a cleaner, a deodorizer, and even a weed killer all in one. Apple cider vinegar with the mother offers added health benefits, and it was even linked to lower infection rates during the 1918 flu pandemic. That's the list. 17 items, all chosen for the same reasons. They last, they save money, and they cover real needs instead of just filling shelf space. Now here's the part most people get wrong. Buying the items is the easy part. Keeping them usable for years is where most preppers fail. The first thing you need is a system, and the simplest one is a 3-tier storage strategy. Tier 1 is your working pantry, the stuff you use every day, easy to reach. Tier 2 is your backup pantry. It refills Tier 1 so you never run out midweek. Tier 3 is your long-term storage, the supplies packed away for real emergencies, only rotated in when needed. This system does 2 things at once. It prevents waste because nothing sits forgotten until it spoils, and it gives you a clear picture of exactly what you have at all times. Next, protect what you've bought. Food-grade buckets with Gamma Seal lids give you an airtight, pest-proof container for bulk grains and beans. Mylar bags paired with oxygen absorbers block out light, oxygen, and moisture, the 3 things that destroy long-term food storage. And don't ignore temperature. Every 10-degree increase in storage temperature cuts your shelf life roughly in half. Store your supplies in the coolest, driest space you have, and if you need to, insulate a storage room or run a small air conditioner to protect your investment. And don't put all your supplies in one place. A flood, a fire, or any single disaster can wipe out an entire stockpile in minutes if it's all sitting in one room. Spread your supplies across multiple locations, keep them elevated off the ground, and store them in waterproof containers. Redundancy is what turns a good system into a bulletproof one. One more piece of strategy: track prices. Keep it simple, a basic spreadsheet noting regular prices versus sale prices. Most items cycle through sales roughly every 12 weeks. The move is to buy enough to last until the next sale cycle, plus a small buffer. That's how you consistently lock in the lowest possible price instead of paying full price out of convenience. Now let's talk about the actual financial case for all of this, because this is where bulk buying stops being a prepper thing and starts being a genuinely smart money move. Food prices don't go down, they climb steadily year after year. Bulk buying lets you lock in today's prices for months or even years into the future. Every dollar you save this way is a dollar you can redirect somewhere else. Paying down debt, building an emergency fund, or expanding your preps even further. Think of your stockpile less like groceries sitting in a closet, and more like an asset that holds its value. Unlike cash sitting in a bank account quietly losing purchasing power to inflation. And the savings compound fast. Saving 60% on rice, 30% on pasta, 50% on beans, 40% on cleaning supplies. Add all of that up across a household's yearly shopping, and you're looking at real, meaningful money. Redirect those savings consistently, and you're not just saving on groceries anymore, you're building genuine financial stability. Here's the mindset shift that ties it all together. Most emergencies aren't apocalyptic. They're a lost job, a surprise medical bill, a family crisis, or a local disaster that knocks out power or access to stores for a few days. A 6-month supply of food and essentials turns those situations from catastrophes into mere inconveniences. No panic buying, no price gouging, no scrambling, just a pantry that already has you covered. Stop thinking of bulk purchases as an expense. Start thinking of them as converting cash into tangible assets, rice, batteries, cleaning supplies, things that hold or even increase in value over time. That single shift in perspective is what separates people who feel constantly behind financially from people who feel calm, prepared, and in control. So here's the real takeaway. This isn't about fear, and it isn't about hoarding. It's about being the person who isn't scrambling when everyone else is. Start small if you need to. Pick 3 items from this list, find the best price, figure out your storage, and make your first bulk purchase this week. Small, boring decisions, a few extra cans, the larger package instead of the small one, compound into real security over time. If this video helped you think about prepping and saving money differently, do us a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to Food Decider for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.